Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I want to give you a background on what Mara Speaks means. Well, means to me. Um, I'm going to give you a background, stop for a second, read to you what I see in the Bible, and then finish up. I went through some things, obviously, like many people in life, and some things have caused me to be bitter in my older age. I'm in my 40s, and I just found myself at a time where I guess that I might have just been more agitated with everything. And even though I was still believing in God, and even though I still wanted to trust in God, I found myself, I guess, getting bitter, and I knew I was bitter. And there was days where I felt really good. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm able to move past this. God is good, and I've gone through all those times as well. Then I probably get back into myself and get depressed again and get very bitter again. But one day I had my grandson with me. This would have been 2018, August of 2018. Today is what, October 2019. So, what is it, October 13th today? I believe it's October 13th, 2019. So I remember, taking my grandson to the park, and there's these little round disc swings they you can actually lay on and relax. So after I played with my grandson for a while, we took the time to lay down and relax. He was about a year old. Was he a year? Yeah, because he was about to turn 2 in October. So yeah, he was a year old at the time, and it was his nap time, and I was tired. So we took and relaxed on the swing, and we just relaxed. And I'm talking about, this was a beautiful day. It was August, and the kids was just going back to school in some areas, so no kids in the park. And we just whoop, whoop, swung in this beautiful breeze and these beautiful trees in this quiet park, and just took a nap. In my dream, I guess I was dreaming about something, because what happened is I woke up and I heard Mara. Your name is Mara. And I said, oh, I said, well, that sounds like the Lord is talking to me. So I never knew what Mara meant. So I started giving it acronyms like Melissa, something good, something good, something good for ARNA, right? So I knew that Melissa and Mara meant, M was going to be for Melissa. So I'm feeling good about the acronyms that I'm trying to come up with during this time. And I said I was going to do a vlog on Mara Speaks, and that's how this came about. Well, it came about more for me because I think the Lord was giving me more information as time went by, because I kept saying, well, why Mara? Why Mara? What does that mean? Because, I needed to know. So my mom had told me about her neighbor giving a Bible studies. We would watch a movie, then we would discuss the movie. And I'm not sure which movie we watched. It could have been Is God Real or something like that. It was something like that. We watched a couple of movies over there before, and then had Bible studies afterwards. And while we were doing the Bible studies part after the movie, one of the women that was there, she was talking about how Mara and was in the Bible. Now I didn't catch everything she was saying, but what I did hear her say was Mara and the Bible. So I went straight to my Google, boom, 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 right? Like, who is Mara and why is she in the Bible? And why would I wake up saying, your name is Mara? And I knew it was placed in my spirit that the Lord was talking to me, that my name was Mara. And I'm like, okay. So I'm listening to her and I'm looking at the Bible in my phone, and I see what Mara was. So I'm going to read to you. I want to say this is going to be Ruth in a new international version, Ruth 1, new international version, when Naomi loses her husband and sons. And I'm going to read all the way down to, I should have had that together, down to 13, I think it is. No, not down to 13. Sorry about that. I'm going to read all the way down to, okay, I want to say it's 21. Yes, 21. All right, so here it says, in the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and two sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi, and the names of his two sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrat, Ephrathites, I want to say, from Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to Moab and lived there. Now, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her two sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her two sons and her husband. Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem. When Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, she and her daughter-in-laws prepared to return home from there. With her two daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. Then Naomi said to her two daughters-in law, go back each of you to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud and said to her, we will go back with you to your people. But Naomi said, return home, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Am I going to have more sons who could become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought that there was still hope for me, even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to two sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has turned against me. At this, they wept aloud again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. Look, said Naomi, your sister-in-law is going back to her people, and her gods go back with her. I mean, going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you will die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. So the two women went off until they became, excuse me. So the two women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the woman exclaimed, can this be Naomi? Don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara, because all the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. Okay, so I did read down to 22. Ruth 1 1 to 22. And When I found out what Ruth actually meant, I mean, what Mara actually meant, it meant bitter. So I needed to read that whole thing because I needed to find out what the Lord was saying to me. And it's so funny because he was actually talking to my spirit because it was the truth. I was becoming very bitter. I had been gone through relationships that didn't go right. I had a hard time raising one of my children, trying to figure it all out, wondering why is it that I couldn't just have the like normal life that everybody else had. The husband, the children, they grow up, they go to college, they move on, and life is good, right? But that's not how it worked for me. Throughout the things that have happened, I, of course, have grown. I've become strong in those things, but I also found that I was becoming bitter. And the Lord needed to speak to my spirit and teach me that I was becoming, well, tell me that I was becoming bitter. Now, this didn't go unchallenged, obviously. Like, I got upset when I realized that this is what I read in my phone. I said, "Well, God, why would you speak to me like that? Like, I'm trying to do good. I'm trying to be this woman of, a godly woman. I'm trying to walk in the right, path. Why would you want to call me bitter? Like, I felt like the Lord was calling me names. Like, it hurt my spirit. And so now I had to like deal with that, and I had to swallow it, and I had to work through it, and I had to find out, well, why should I not be bitter? Because I understood what Naomi was talking about, even though Naomi would have been more in the Bible than on my phone. But the point is, I understood what she was speaking of. I understood that, she's probably trying to do the right thing by God and her family. And before you know it, everything is taken away from her. And she doesn't understand how to even like grasp this or deal with this. So, I understood her well. And I'm happy that the Lord brought that to my attention, that I was becoming Mara, which means bitter. And when I sat here and heard him speak to my spirit saying, "Your name is Mara," I'm like, now that I know what it means, let me find out what to do with it. Because the point is this: whatever is going on in your life, you got to find out why God allowed it, what you did to be part of that to go on in your life, and how can you become a testimony when you come out of it to help others. So that's what this actual channel, or whatever you're looking at, if it's YouTube channel, if I'm doing it in any other avenue, Facebook, whatever, I want you to understand that this is the beginning of why I started Mara Speaks, because of my journey, of the things that happened in my life, of the things that caused me pain, but also, delivered me. I need for you to hear it, and hopefully the Lord speaks to your spirit about it. Like, the Lord helps you through it because of my experiences. I always believe that, you don't go through something just to keep it to yourself. It should be a testimony. It should be something to help build others, to let people know they're not alone, to let people know that they can also get through like you did. Okay. And for everything that I go through or have gone through, I'm going to try to put this on my YouTube channel and also on Facebook. Now, I'm not good with all this YouTube, so I'm not going to be doing all these extra special effects. Okay. I'm going to just basically give it to you real, and how the Lord is telling me to speak my truth and to help others through my testimony. And that is my point of doing this. I'm not trying to tell my business. I'm not trying to give people information about me that really I would like to keep to myself. But I also understand that the Lord wants me to help others, because he didn't give those trials and tribulations to me for me to keep it to myself. I hear my pastor and other people always talking about, and things on YouTube that's ministering to my spirit about how to take my pain and make it my purpose. Okay, to not keep things in me and feel like it should just die with me because I got through it. Because I also understand that other people are going through something that don't know how to get through it. And if they can hear it through me, they can say, well, she understands that she got bitter, but what did she do with it? What am I going to do with what the Lord has told me. I don't want to just stay bitter, right? I want to help others. I want to be a servant. I want to sit here and get you to understand that I'm just a regular woman with two children that try to do a lot of stuff, and things happen to me. Like I didn't expect it. I guess I didn't always go in the right direction. And so guess what? If I don't go the straight and narrow, things happen. So I want to help you. And that's the point of this channel. And I hope that I've explained it right. And I hope that I am able to be a blessing to others through my stories. So this is Mara Speaks. Love you all. Start to listen to my channel. Hopefully subscribe. And I'm going to be giving you information about me and how the Lord brought me through. Love you all. Have a good day.